Here's a very quick pasta recipe that I make at least once a week. From start to finish, it takes about 20 minutes to make, and you can serve it with a side of air fried chicken if you want, but I like it plain. The recipe only requires a few ingredients: some regular spaghetti, although you can use some fancy pasta if you want, some basil from my basil plant, a large tomato, and some Parmesan if you have it. I usually always have these ingredients on hand, so this is a very easy recipe for me. I'm going to start with boiling my spaghetti. I used very little water here, just enough to cover the pasta in water and add about a teaspoon of salt. Since I'm going to be using this water in my sauce, I don't want to over salt it. The starch that is released into this water from the pasta will help emulsify and thicken the sauce. While the pasta is boiling, I'm going to start picking some basil leaves. I managed to only get one of these plants to sprout in my air garden, but it gets a lot of use. I picked about a handful of leaves and put them into a mortar and pestle, along with a garlic clove and about a teaspoon of coarse salt. The coarse salt would actually help grind these leaves faster. Now just smash these up until they become a paste. Next, I just chopped up a large tomato into 8 pieces. I actually like big pieces of tomatoes in my final dish, but you can make them smaller if you want. You can even use cherry tomatoes in this. Heat up about half a tablespoon of olive oil in a pan. Add your tomatoes and the basil paste. Fry these until tomatoes get a little bit soft. You don't want to overcook these since we're going to be cooking this pasta a little bit more after adding the spaghetti. So don't overcook the tomatoes at this point. When the tomatoes get a little bit softer and the spaghetti is not cooked at this point, turn off the stove and just wait for the spaghetti to cook. It's kind of hard to time both of these at the same time. Once the pasta is al dente, just add it to the tomato and basil mixture in the frying pan. I dumped the whole pot of pasta into my pan along with all the water. The water had already reduced quite a bit at this point. Just cook this until the water reduces a little bit more. Add your Parmesan if you want and stir until combined. The starch from the pasta will help dissolve the cheese into the sauce and the cheese will not start clumping. Now right at the end of the cooking, turn off the stove and add a little small knob of butter. Now stir until the butter is melted. The butter will actually add more richness to the sauce and make the whole dish a bit more glossy. At this point your dish is completely cooked and is ready to serve. I'm just serving it by itself, but you can serve it with a side of something else. Thank you for watching and see you next time.